Chris at Biomechanics Physical Therapy in downtown Milwaukee, and we're starting a new golf program here, and I just wanted to go over a few exercises with you guys and to be able to help improve your game. One thing that I want to teach today is what three-dimensional motion looks like. This can enhance your flexibility and also a lot of your strengthening exercises. So when you think about the golf swing, one of the main things that's going on is during the swing, there's a lot of rotation going on. That rotation is that first plane of motion. So going in a rotation like this is called the transverse plane of motion. Also during the golf swing, even though we don't think about it as much, we also have some motion going more in this direction, kind of in a side-to-side direction. That's your frontal plane of motion. So when we're thinking about our flexibility exercises and also our strengthening, we want to make sure that we're not just addressing those rotation things, also that frontal plane of motion. The last one that we probably don't think about as much is the sagittal plane, and that's when we're doing things more in a flexion extension position. So obviously you need to have enough flexibility to get into a good stance in that sagittal plane of motion. So those are the three main things. We have the transverse plane this way, we have our frontal plane of motion this way, and then we have our sagittal plane of motion. So let's make this a little bit more applicable to an exercise that you guys might be familiar with. So let's look at a basic hamstring stretch here. Use my club for balance. Imagine that you're at the first tee and this will be your bench right by the tee. So traditional hamstring stretch, most people think about their leg just sticking out like this on the bench. And what you would do is just working on trying to straighten that leg and maybe bend it forward a little bit, trying to reach towards that toe. So like I talked about before, that would be working that sagittal plane of motion. But as we talked about with the golf swing, predominant motion that we're going through is mostly transverse planes. So we want to make sure that we loosen up that hamstring along with all of our other muscles in those planes, all three planes of motion. So sagittal plane is what most people traditionally already do. Now let's see what it would look like if we added a little transverse plane motion here. So what we can do first is we can start by keeping that hamstring stretch that you're used to, and I'm just turning my foot in and out like this, just trying to roll it in and out while I'm keeping that stretch. And I'm just using the club here for balance. That's one way to work that transverse plane. The other way I can do it is keeping my foot straight up and down, and I'm actually rotating through my pelvis. Just like that. And especially as you rotate out towards the side, you're going to feel a good stretch right down into your groin muscles there. And then the last way that you want to address is more of that frontal plane of motion. So what we would do for that is, I'm going to turn and face towards you guys. Still keeping your foot straight up and down like this, and it would help to have something else to hold on to as far as a golf club. And then you'd just be doing more, shifting your hips side to side while still feeling that hamstring stretch. I think you'll notice that you'll feel a stretch and a pull in that hamstring that you haven't felt before with that traditional hamstring stretch. So in the next series of videos that we're going to focus on is we're going to go through a number of very important golf muscles to be able to have good flexibility in, and I'll go through that series of how to stretch it in those three different dimensions of motion. Over the course of the next few months, especially during this off-season time for golfers, it's a great time to focus on these flexibility and strengthening issues. You can go to our website to learn more. It's the letter B, mechanics.com, and then I'll be posting videos likely about every week or every other week. Thanks for watching, and I'll